Okay, picking up where I left off last week with these sensors. I've gone ahead and I primed the inside of the bumper, and what I did was I got the this little plastic surround that these clip into. I drilled some holes into them, and the reason for that is I haven't found anything that sticks to this plastic that's any good. But this panel adhesive, it's a pretty hard epoxy, and what I'm trying to do is get it to force up through these holes here. I'm going to come, once this hardens, this takes about 4 hours to harden. I'll come back and I'll basically wipe some over these end tabs over here, which will basically create like a capture for it, because I don't trust it to stay stuck to that epoxy. So I've got all 4 of them set in right now, and I've just a little bit of a waiting game to get it to dry, and then put a little bit more of the old gook on there to get that going. But taking off the wing because I had to, once I got everything set, take all these studs out and put some Loctite in the studs. Also, I put a little epoxy just around the neck of them to lock them into the aluminum a little bit better. Also, I've glued in the second dowel pin. These case hardened steel push pins that keeps the wing from rotating. Anyway, just lots of little stuff going on here right now. All right, so while I'm waiting for various paints and epoxies to dry, I decided to make my EDPM rubber gaskets for underneath the wing uprights. Anyway, started out with this 3M paper that's I use for deflect and weld spatter, because it's got a sticky back on it, and I could stick this right down to the gasket material after I put the wing section on here and trace it all out, and then I'll show you how all that works. Okay, so this is EDPM gasket material. You can get it online. It's about 3/32 thick. Basically, what EDPM gasket is used for is most glazing applications for commercial buildings, and also most of the extruded rubber that would be exposed to the sun in automotive purposes. So basically, it's resistant to the degradation by sunlight. So I use this for spacer between the wing and the body, as a very slight cushion between the two. Anyway, I'm going to lay this out and cut this out. All right, with the pattern off the car, it's lightly stuck down to this gasket material, so I could just go ahead and trim this out to the shape. Okay, so that's what that's looking like, and I got some nice clean holes punched here by just basically taking a piece of tubing and sharpening it on the end like that, and then just using it as a punch. And anyway, on to the next thing. Okay, so it's a little hard to see because it's black on black here, but you can see I got this piece of pattern paper just kind of stuck here. You can see that this gasket is now between the wing and the quarter panel, and it's about light 1/8 and 3/32 of an inch broader than the base itself, which was just a matter of I traced the wing out with a Sharpie and just went to the outside of the Sharpie line, and that gave me a little bit of overhang. So anyway, that's what that's looking like. Okay, so I'm trying to finish up any welding that I have to do back here so I can pull this welding blanket out, and so that I could see what kind of routing I'm going to have to do for my wiring harness. It's in the trunk right now. It's in a wooden box all coiled up in there, but I got to make sure I've got all this welding done. One of the last things I have to do here, as you can see, I've got some welds, bot welds, actually rosette welds here. I've added this flange over here. This flange is basically going to be a backstop for one of my trunk panels to enclose the trunk. Anyway, Just little stuff like that. It all has to be done. Anyway. Okay, so I've got the harness in now. Got all the sensors plugged in and popped into these holes here. I've got these are the quarter panels, the little side markers at the back and the bottom of the quarter panel. They have to go back into the body with these little rubber grommets sealing up the holes where they go through on both sides here to attach to the side marker lights at the back of the bottom of the quarter panels. Anyway, so that's almost ready to go in. And as far as on the car itself, I've been working on a little bit of the wiring harness situation here. Let me get the light. And I've been running the wiring harness around in this area up over the back. This is the master plug that plugs into the back bumper over here. That's got to go through a hole in the back of the sheet metal over here. And I've got several hold downs over here. And here's where reattaching those panels came in handy. They have mount points for these modules already in them, so it's just a matter of just plugging them back in their original locations, both there, and there's the module that fit behind that little drain tube there. I'm gonna have to put a little rubber flap there just for peace of mind that anything doesn't get that module doesn't get wet. Anyway, here's the rest of that wiring going around to that side. That pigtail over there that's tied to the little X frame there is for the tail lights on that side, and there's one over here. Same situation. Anyway, this is what I've been doing over here is sealing this up with a little seam sealer. This housing, this boxing that holds the tail lights, because I just spot welded it together because I didn't want to continuous weld this whole thing together and then warp it all up. So I have to go back and seal up all those seams on the inside. So that's what I'm up to right now. All right, so this is a little bit awkward working by myself, trying to get this bumper on because it's kind of heavy, and I have to feed these wires through and get these rubber plugs in the hole at the same time. So what I've done is I've just come up with these. I just put these body stands up, and I put these cardboard cutouts on there to cradle it, and so I could just shift it into position a little at a time. Anyway, I've got one vertical hole here drilled, which is for the, there's a large plug that goes through here. And then I've got basically a split rubber grommet going into the hole to dam it up. Over here, I've already fished this rubber grommet on. It's split also. Get the wire on there. And then that fits into this hole right here. Got one on the other side, and these are for the side markers, and this is the main plug that feeds the entire harness for the proximity sensors for the parking assist. And anyway, and also the license plate light on the bottom side here. Well, I was wanting to pop this bumper on real quick. Well, actually for the last time, and before it goes out to get bodywork done. And of course, it's never that simple. Got everything lined up, everything pretty much fed through the body, and then I realized, well, the sequence of assembling this is I have to put the taillight in first. Well, in order to put the taillight in first, I had to put the camera back in. Then I had to put in the button that operates the trunk latch with your proximity fob. And then I realized, well, I'll be trapped if I don't get these harnesses extended, because being the car is longer, everything that was in the back of the car, of course, the wires don't reach. So I have to extend all these harnesses in order to get back here to plug into all these items back here, the latch and all that stuff. So now I'm involved with the latch. So, like I said, I forgot the sequence of events. It's been over a year since I put this together. So the taillight's got to go in, and The latch has got to go in. All that stuff's got to go in before the bumper can go on, because this piece right here, this little riser here, traps the tail light in once it's on. So, and I also got to put the end pieces on. Anyway, long-winded again. Everything has to be done before anything else can be done, so that's what I'm up to. Well, this is certainly not someplace I wanted to find myself at the end of this week. Bolted the bumper up, and I noticed a few things. Now that it's painted out black, you'd think that would be something that would obscure the flaws, but it basically just drew my attention to some things that are really I couldn't unsee. One of them here, as you could see, once I stood up and looked at it, is this transition right here, from here to here. It's like a knot right there. You see, you can't see it so much from this angle here, but you can also see that the transition kind of stops in a hard place right here. There you can really see it. It's like an angle. It's not a smooth transition. So I chopped this corner off here to get started, so I had something to compare it to. And this is a much softer transition. I've taken it right to the spot center up over this particular sensor right here, and it's a much smoother transition into this corner over here. At any rate, so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to cut that corner off and do the same thing over there to match it up. The other thing I found once I got my taillights installed is that this gap is not even. Well, that wouldn't be a big deal, except this is going to be a different color. So if this is blacked out over here, you're going to see that. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. Once I got the taillights back in and then put the bumper up, it became obvious to me that this needs to be an even spacing here, because this will be all, this is red, obviously you can't see it on the paper, but so there's going to be a contrast here between the red and then possibly a blackout in this taillight area, and then the car color, which is a dark blue, but at the same time, you know, in the sunlight you'll see this is an uneven gap here. So I took the rim off of here, and I'll have to cut this over here, straighten this out. The same on the other side. So I you know, made a symmetrical mistake, which is nice. So that's where I'm at with this. I had all the sensors and the harness in there, and I had to pull all of that stuff back out to go back to this little welding operation. But I think it was worth it to get any further down the road, and have that bump would have been driving me crazy. At any rate, that's where I'm at with this. All right, I'm going to show you what I'm up to with remodeling these corners. Of course, this is what I'm trying to eliminate, is this bump right in here, and you know how it comes down pretty abruptly and then starts to this straight part next to the exhaust tip. Anyway, on this side here, I've taken it and softened all of that up, and so that this corner here is a whole lot rounder, and it blends a lot better into the bottom of the roll pan. So that's that corner rebuilt. Now I got to work on that side. You can see it pretty good from here. What I'm trying to eliminate, that stark bump right there at the bottom as it rolls into the roll pan. So that's just a continue from this one continues from here and sweeps down, whereas this one here comes down on a bump and then angles over like that. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to eliminate. That's all I have time for this week. I thought I'd be way farther ahead, but based on the fact that I'm backing up again, trying to fix some things that I missed, we'll probably be dealing with this first thing Monday morning over here. It's something you got to do early in the morning, because it takes a lot of concentration to shape this metal up in such a confined spot and get it all transition in to all the different surfaces it's got to go to. So I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see you on the next one.